Hello, everybody. It is Jonathan from Radio Tokyo, and it is Tuesday, July 11th, 2015, and it is the 1 year anniversary of the death of Robin Williams. Typically on the show, we have a rule. It's generally unspoken, but I want to go ahead and say what it is. We try to only talk about fun topics. That's why, we don't really ever get into politics, religion, and so on that much. But I think it's important, today, a year later, that we discuss just for a little while Robin Williams. Um, really, if for no other reason than to acknowledge the fact that he was genuinely one of the funniest human beings that has ever lived. It's hard to think of a comedian uh, at least within most people's lifetime, as it is right now, who was more well known, more enjoyed, and just as overwhelmingly funny as he was. Now, you have Louis C.K. and uh, Billy Crystal, Josh Gad, just any comedian you can think of, they're still there. And I'm not saying that they're not funny. It's just that I think Robin Williams was able to take his level of comedy, his commitment to making other people laugh a little bit further than they were. Um, I grew up watching Robin Williams. I watched reruns of Mork and Mindy when I was little. I watched Jumanji. I watched Aladdin, of course. Good Will Hunting, The World According to Garp. But Toys is one of my favorite movies of all times. Uh, it's really hard to think of a point in time in my life, except for the past year, where I couldn't expect to see Robin Williams, you know, either on TV and something or providing his voice to a cartoon or whatever. It was just something I expected. I was used to seeing it. But as it turns out, as the world found out a year ago, Robin Williams had a darker side. Um, Now, it goes without saying that most people who enjoy making other people laugh, myself included, often draw their humor from all the darkness in our lives. And for a long time, I've dealt with depression, I've dealt with anxiety. It actually runs in my family. There have been some days where I have been really, really dark and really bad off, and I just, didn't want to be here anymore. Uh, So it hurts me, to realize, Robin Williams was going through the same thing. And oftentimes it's, a pain uh, that you can't really ever work past, like there's no solution to it. But he found his solution. And I'm hoping, that it, I'm really hoping that no one else has to find that solution. Uh, but it's been said more than once that suicide is actually not a selfish act, and I personally don't think that it is. I think the depression that killed him ultimately um, made him sad, and it caused him so much pain on the inside that the only way he could get the world to understand was to take his own life. So just today, I want to say publicly, I understand, Robin. I understand. Um, in a weird way, thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for all the laughs, all the enjoyment, all the love you have shown to everybody who's known about you since the '60s and '70s. Excuse me. I'm getting a little choked up. I'm sorry. But you were a funny man, Robin, and it's really sad that you're gone. I have a difficult time watching certain movies And I think, of course, the one that comes everybody's mind when they think of something that's difficult, Robin Williams movie to watch is, of course, Dead Poets Society. And I remember a year ago, like my Facebook and Twitter and everything else, it was all just, oh, Captain, my Captain, repeatedly. Um, but yeah, Robin Williams was a funny man. And I'm going to miss him. I already miss him right now. But he was a big inspiration to me, wanting to try and be a funny person, wanting to try and make someone laugh. And like I said, I tend to draw on all the negativity in my life. It helps me feel better, to know that I can make someone smile or just feel better about themselves in some way. And I think that was what Robin Williams' goal was. And it's a very admirable goal. Admirable. I'll get it out in a second. I'm sorry. I'm a little choked up. I'm not sure if you can tell. But it was very admirable of him to do what he did. Um, what most people are not aware of about Robin Williams is that he was a very avid gamer. He was, uh, like I discussed the other day, when I started talking about Ronda Rousey. Robin Williams was a geek. He was very much of a nerd. Like what you think of someone today. He liked anime. He liked cartoons. He loved video games. He loved video games. Uh, his daughter is actually named for Princess Zelda from Legend of Zelda. It was one of his all-time favorite games. He loved playing World of Warcraft too. He had a very expensive, very good gaming computer that he played World of Warcraft on. He played it so much that when Blizzard found out about it and found out he died, that they put a tribute to him in Warlords of Draenor. There is a genie in the ground. It's on a little island by itself. Uh, it's between the ground and Talador. Uh, when you get to the island, you'll see these little toys laying around, like little toy elephants and toy cars and stuff like that to reference the movie Toys. But the further up you go on the island, you'll see a hunting spear and like a little Hearthstone, just a bunch of stuff to reference some of his more lighthearted movies. Um, but of course, the big tribute is a little lamp that you click on it, and a Warcraft style genie named Robin comes up, and he says a line from Aladdin. Big possibilities. He'd be living space. I can't remember the line off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but he does that, and it's very heartbreaking to see it. The first time I saw it, I just cried and cried and cried because it was so beautiful. So thank you to Blizzard for putting that in there. I know Blizzard does that with a lot of their employees or they'll tribute certain individuals. But it was very touching to see that. But like I said, Robin Williams was a hilarious person. He was really one of the most giving people that I've ever come across. Not that I knew him, but several years ago, in 1985, 86, somewhere around there, he and Whoopi Goldberg teamed up and started Comic Relief USA, which was an HBO special, to raise money for the homeless. And as of last year, they've raised about $100 million, I think. Um, he did a lot of tours with the USO. He was an avid supporter of the military and their well-being, even if he was not a supporter of wars we were in. And he was actually very critical more than once of the Bush administration during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, because he felt we were there for the wrong reasons. But that did not stop Mr. Williams from going to Iraq, going to Afghanistan, going to anywhere we had troops on the ground, and speaking to them just to make their day. Uh, one of the best comedy specials I've seen of him was actually from that point in time. It was in, I believe, 2008, and he was in Washington D.C. and he just made so many jokes at the expense of the government, just to try and make people understand that it was something to be laughed about to him. But that's not saying that he was, specifically doing it to poke fun at individuals. He was doing it because there's a general rule among comedians. If you don't laugh at something, you're going to cry about it. And that's like, even myself, like, I've never really done, stand up or anything like that. I've wanted to, but I've tried to laugh about a lot of things. I try really, really hard to, because if I don't laugh, if I don't make myself smile over something, I'm sure I'm going to be really upset. Which is why, a year ago today, when I found out Robin Williams had died because of depression, I laughed. I cried. I was upset, but I always found something to smile about. Anyway, I'm sorry, this is kind of rambling, but I just wanted to say, from myself and Nick and Danny and Lexi and everybody else who has had anything to do with Radio Tokyo, from my family, everyone in my guild in World of Warcraft, and damn near everybody I know. Thank you, Robin Williams. Thank you so much for being a friend, uh, being, that funny guy that we could watch and laugh at. Thank you for being that serious, serious man. Uh, thank you for being our captain. Thank you for being our genie. Thank you for just all the years you gave us. Um, it's been a hard year without you, and I know it's probably not going to get any easier, but we miss you. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Please like the video, dislike it, comment. I'm not sure. Just, whatever you feel like doing, have at it. Um, check us out on Facebook. We're gonna have some more stuff this week. Anyway, yeah. Talk to y'all later.